Yeah, Eric, one of the things that's really, particularly in the last couple of years, that really is getting a lot of attention is the sales management position. Several research studies that have been done, matter of fact, in the last 2 years, one of them by the Conference Board, which is obviously something that a lot of people know about, pointed out the fact that a lot of the sales managers, almost 80% of frontline sales managers today, have had no training to become a sales manager. And it's showing up a lot in the marketplace, and particularly with sales organizations, because one of the areas that they found particularly lacking was their ability to coach and to develop their people. A huge area, and it's not getting enough play. The other part of it is a lot of these sales managers have been promoted from being great salespeople into being sales managers. It's two different skill sets. And so it's like, as I tell people, it's like the comparison of Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan, a heck of a basketball athlete, terrific by all accounts, terrible manager, terrible coach, Phil Jackson, mediocre player, journeyman player at best, terrific coach, terrific manager. So it's that kind of thing that you're seeing there. Why that's so important is because in today's marketplace, all things being equal, which they are pretty much today, that's the only thing that's going to really give you a competitive advantage. And so, unfortunately for the sales managers, a lot of them are just pushed into having to, manage by spreadsheet and numbers. The fact of the matter is, the better that they make their people and spending more time. I use a comparison oftentimes like Sam Walton, walking around management. I mean, he was out almost 350 days a year out in the stores and walking around management to understand and listening to what's going on. And that's today, really, that's where it's really at. And there's a lot of companies, I sit in front of CEOs and owners, sitting there, I said, hey, have you ever taken and promoted your best salesperson to sales manager and it didn't work out? And they, like little bobblehead dolls, yeah, you're right. But yet they continue to make that mistake. So that would be one of the tips I'd share today. Anybody that's out there that's an owner, president, CEO of a company and hasn't had their managers go through some kind of a formalized sales training, it's really doing yourself a big disservice because they have much more of an impact on your organization than a couple salespeople do. Because now you're talking a multiplication factor. And if you can and the other part of that is, for management, frankly, a lot of it is, top management has to recognize and put value on that. Oftentimes, nothing to do with sales managers. They're being forced into this because it's numbers, numbers, numbers. Top management doesn't put the value or the incentives or giving them a little space to be able to do some of this stuff. So, it is what it is. Companies are getting it though because of the research that's out now. A lot of the major companies now are starting to really understand and put up, do something about it. I've been recently to several different talks and conventions that have brought that to light. And matter of fact, the ASTD is going to have a big section on that today. The American Society of Trainers and Developers at their annual meeting. There's going to be a big section of that that's going to be about management. So that's the tip.